Hello, looks like I'm live. If you are here with me, let me know that you can hear me. Okay. Today we're going to be talking about repurposing your content, what that even means, and why you should be repurposing your content. I've got 12 benefits to go over with you, and you're going to love each and every one of these. But stick around for that. I am Stephanie Gary, the blog marketing consultant and manager, helping women coaches and consultants show up in search results and actually attracting more clients. I want to make sure that you are actually taking advantage of all the different tactics that are available to you with your marketing. And we're going to go ahead and dive into that today. Let me know if this is sounding all right. This is the first time I've done this on a live here, but I've tested it a couple of times. So you should be hearing me. Yes, you should be hearing me. There's a mute button on here that I can mute myself if I wanted to. But I haven't accidentally hit it just yet, but I got to make sure every time, right? That would be a huge bummer if I talked for 30 minutes and no one could hear me anyway. Right, I've got my notes up here and I am here with you and we are a few minutes past the hour. So let's go ahead and just dive right in. So what is content repurposing? What that entails is ultimately you create a thing once, and it can be any format, so written, audio, or video, where you shared your information, your story, the knowledge, whatever it is that you wanted to produce in that particular piece of content, and then pulling that information and sharing it everywhere. So it is very possible for you to create a thing once and then have it repurposed in all the different content formats for you in all the different places. You would want to go ahead and pick the one that is most fun for you. So if you enjoy talking, then perhaps that's the one that you want to focus on. And if you are camera shy, or perhaps you don't enjoy making sure that you look presentable for video, then audio might be the thing for you. Or if you don't want to worry about how it is that you sound on the other end of a recording, you don't want to listen to your own voice, perhaps written content would be best for you. And ultimately, that is kind of where it goes. From there, you could do it yourself, or you can have someone else do all the work of repurposing the content for you. So why would you invest in repurposing content? Now, I got 12 different benefits for you today to talk about, and we're going to go ahead and dive into each one of them. But I want you to tell me, if you could only pick one format, one type of content that you would create, and then have, a magic wand, that content is being repurposed for you everywhere that you are possibly wanting to show up. What's that one first piece of content that you'd want to be creating? Is it an email? Is it a blog post? Is it a YouTube video? Perhaps it's a podcast episode, or it could be something else entirely. There's plenty of social channels, or even particular parts of a social channel that you might enjoy the most, and you'd rather have everything else repurposed from that. Whatever it is doable. And I can give you examples if you want to go ahead and provide me with what your preferred format is, and then I can show you how that could be repurposed into any other type of content. Right now, I'd have to say my clients typically like either audio or video. And so that would be something that I can go ahead and consider. But if you would like to hear something that's a little more specific to you, that's not a live stream video or not a podcast episode, let me know. So let's get into this. If you wanted to repurpose your content, you can work on many goals at the same time. Now, you don't want to dilute your focus, but the key point here is that each content type can have a different goal, even though the content itself is the same. For example, if you have a blog, the goal for that is to drive traffic to your website. If you have that content repurposed into an ebook, the purpose of that is to drive to capture more leads, to get people to opt in for your the ebook so that you have all that content consolidated in one spot. And perhaps with the various blog and ebook type of content, you're able to pull out a series of questions that gets someone thinking about what it is that you have to offer. And that would be with the intention to increase engagement. The content didn't really change, you just have different goals with each piece of content. So you can have multiple goals being a driving factor for various different types of content. Then in your content that you're deciding whether to repurpose, you can look at the best performing and the worst performing. And of course, we'd like to keep your best performing up top. But what about the not best performing? Everything that's mediocre and poor. Well, that you'll want to go ahead and repurpose them with updates. So you can figure out what it is that you need to update. Perhaps it's just the headlines. Nobody was interested in what it presented as the topic. Maybe you need to add a little more intrigue and mysterious, or you need to be clear about the benefit of taking the time to consume this piece of content. Perhaps it's the introduction, because you only got a few seconds before someone decides whether or not they want to stay and actually consume the entirety or even a majority of that piece of content. So these are different ways that you could update it and actually see if you can get that content to perform better without doing too much new work. Because if someone decided they didn't want to read the blog post because the title wasn't interesting or didn't explain the benefit very well, your content could be your best one, but they're not going to know because they never looked through, they never got past the headline. With the same content repurposed in different formats, you can reach new people. As your audience is growing, you're going to have people not seeing every single piece of content you created. That will include your social media post from last month or a blog post from last year. That content is new to someone who is already in your sphere today. And just because they were in your sphere at that point in time that it was initially published, does not mean that they saw it at that time. You'll need to reshare, update, repurpose, publish, whatever the situation is for the specific content that we're talking about here. You are going to be reaching new people each time you share it. And then it's going to expand your reach, right? So when you have audio, video, and written format, you are actually reaching different types of people. There are those who prefer to read, and they don't watch or listen to any of your other content. There are those who don't have time to read or to skim or any of that. They just want to listen to it while they're doing other things. Perhaps they like to listen to podcasts during the dishwasher or loading the dishwasher or even cooking dinner. That could be something that you're providing content for them for, but they're not going to read all of your content. They're going to listen to you. So in that way is that they're going to also retain the information differently. There's actually 8 different learning styles, and when you have something that addresses everyone's learning style, you will actually get your message across. Um, Real quickly, those 8 different learning styles are visual, oral, like you're hearing it, verbal, physical, hands-on, logical, so they need the numbers and the math, they need it all spelled out, social, so they need the interaction, solitary, so they're best in like a self-paced, self-study type of program, or natural, which that one sounds just like a terrible naming for it. It's basically in Mother Nature natural, not like inherently good at learning. That was a weird name for it, but that is what it was listed as. Um, so when you have all the different formats of content that can um, keep in mind all the different learning styles and the different preferences of your people, you can then reach um, not just your new audience members, but also just reach new people in general. So when you do this, it also allows you to diversify your content. So that is a consistent message that you're sharing in all your content, but in different channels. Because your consistency needs to be your presence in what you say, not in how you say something. It doesn't have to always be a Facebook post that you keep posting over and over again. It's not going to reach new people. It's not really going to connect in a different way. However, if you want to add a video on your Facebook stream, then that will actually be able to connect with some people because they'll have that interaction. They'll be able to hear what it is you're saying instead of just reading it. Um, Next notes here. Okay, so then you'll want to be able to target your different buying stages. So what that means is that you will want to have shorter bite-sized pieces of content, so think more like your social media posts, for the people who are just getting to know you. On the other hand, if you've got someone who's deciding whether or not they're going to buy something from you, you're going to want a longer, more in-depth content so that they can really know what it is that you are providing. That would be a webinar. That could be an ultimate guide to doing the thing, a pillar post. There's a few different examples, but it targets different buying stages based on how well your audience person already knows you and your offer and what you have for them. The different content addresses their needs based on how well they feel comfortable with you, and that can be all in the same day. It's very possible. However, if you are wanting to provide them the options, you'll need to make it all available for them instead of sticking them on a railroad track at your speed. So then you'll want to make sure that you're making the most of your time and effort. Content marketing can really do a lot for your business, but you'll want to make sure that you are actually maximizing that because you can use the same content, so the same quality input into your little content marketing machine, and you get much more output because you're using the same thing over and over again. Sometimes it could be copy and paste, but other times you're going to like tweak some things. Like, hey, Facebook doesn't really work on hey, Instagram, right? Let's see. By doing this, it actually gives you more time to be able to work on some new marketing ideas. Perhaps if you've got your content marketing down pat, now you want to look at running Facebook ads or Pinterest ads, or I actually haven't heard about it, but being on the front end of the curve for Clubhouse ads. I'm sure that'll be a thing. Ultimately, when you have these systems in place, you are able to explore new ideas for what might be the next best thing for you and your business. And In the exploration, you can also just make sure that you are keeping your house of cards in order. You know that your business, all the other aspects, not even just marketing, all the other aspects of your business are being taken care of. Uh, ooh, here's a good one. By repurposing your content, you will increase your online presence in all the places that you can be. So that will help with your brand awareness. People know about your name and they know what you do. Um, they have a vague awareness of what your offer is, or maybe they're really aware and they can start referring you to other people just either because they heard about you. A lot of people keep saying good things about you, and therefore they're confident to be like, hey, maybe this person will be great for your needs here. Um, it will help you with audience building because the more places that you happen to be already, the more that your message is consistent and your audience can grow. And by growing your audience and having more brand awareness with your business, you will naturally get more clients just because more people are aware of you, they know what you offer, and they're sticking around because they know what your message is. By having the same content being repurposed, it also improves your search engine optimization. Um, this can be in a couple different ways. Um, so if you have more blog posts, there's more pages for your website to show up in Google. If you have more YouTube videos, you have more videos to show up on YouTube search results. If you have more podcast episodes, you have more shows to show up in the various podcast platforms that you listen to. iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, whatever platform it is. When you make a search on there, you'll have more opportunities to show up because you have more pieces of content available. Then, when you have more pieces of content available, that also provides more backlink opportunities, which is another one of those extensions of improving your search engine optimization. What that means is that other people are linking to your content. Other users on the internet love to share interesting and useful content. And so by sharing your content with their friends, family, their um, clients, that will give you another link to your website or to your content, to your business. That will prove to both the users and to the search functions, all the algorithms, that you are seen as a quality source of information by actual human users. And then as you are repurposing your content, you are actually strengthening your messaging. The more diverse ways that you can present your expertise and your brand voice, the stronger it will be. So you could be an expert in uh, fitness or nutrition or planning or whatever have you. And that is really conveyed in all the messages. However, it could also show that you are really passionate about dogs, cats, anime. The options are really limited about what you are interested in, what you're an expert in. Really becomes the whole economy of like who you are, who your business is, and like what you can do for your clients. And the more you practice, the better you get. And ultimately, that is what we're wanting, is to have your messaging so on point that your ideal people feel seen in your content. And then finally, here we have it enhances your knowledge and skill set. So, you know how we said that we're going to be practicing your messaging and all that areas you're an expert in? As you keep sharing over and over again, maybe with some tweaks here and there, and maybe with some better analogies over here. You're actually reinforcing what you already know, adding to it, and becoming more well versed in your zone of genius. Because even though it's your zone of genius, there's still possibilities for improvement, right? So, the more versatile of a marketer that you are for your business, the more platforms, the new formats, the new marketing tactics you can actually use in your business to be able to get yourself in front of new potential clients. And then finally, you'll start seeing as you do this that each piece of content holds a lot more value than you give it credit for. You could have a 1,000 word blog post that you created, and I can actually come up with something to pull out of that for every day in a month. It will go every weekday because that's typically the pace of when we're working here. So that's what do we count that at? 5 days, 4 weeks. So 20 pieces of content I could pull out of that, make social content. And that's anything from a really great quote, from a question you post, from a little bit of a what to do kind of information. Perhaps there was a personal story in your introduction or somewhere else in that. These are the types of content that are going to help you repurpose the content even more. And as you are integrating it all together, you will see that you have so much value already in your existing content today. And then from today forward, you can see um, ways to improve how to make your content more easily repurposed. Because when you create content with the intention of repurposing it for different platforms and what platforms, it makes it so much easier to go from blog posts to video to social media posts. So if you have any questions about any of this, let me know. I am looking forward to hearing about your preferred type of content that you would like to create and have that magically become all the other content that you are wanting to do. So if you give me that, I will be coming back with you to talk about specifics of what content can be repurposed in what ways. I've given you a few clues today um, as we dove into all of these 12 different benefits for repurposing your content. But I definitely look forward to hearing from you regarding the one type of content. And let me know if you have a particular favorite out of all these benefits. Is there one that excites you the most? So I think they're all pretty exciting, to be honest. It'd be hard to pick just one. I don't know that I could pick one. Probably maximizing the time and money, time and effort, I think is what I said. Yeah, time and effort is what I said. Because then you get to experiment with new marketing tactics. Ooh, and I love playing with marketing. All right. Well, thank you for tuning in with me tonight, guys. I will talk with you next time. And I hope you have a wonderful day, evening, morning, wherever you are. Bye.